Welcome to the July edition of Coffee and Kolache or Kava Kolache at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library in Cedar Rapids. We're so glad you're here, and July is a very special month for us because we have our student interns with us. And it's my honor and pleasure to be with them and spend a little time so that you can get to know them. And if you come to the museum, please introduce yourself to them. This year, as in the past several years, we have our Smithsonian interns with us, and I'm very proud to introduce Kayla Hawkins from Spelman College in Atlanta and Maria Sanchez from Regis in Denver. And welcome. We're so glad you're here. And they'll be with us during the month of July. And they have some interesting projects that we'll talk about. And to my right is our Czech intern from České Budějovice and Dominika Novotná. Or Novotny, as we would probably say, is here with us for an entire month. So, vítáme.
Děkuju.
Okay, very good. We have to speak English, but we sometimes sneak in some Czech words with that. So welcome. We're so glad. This is our monthly program that we have on, it's called Coffee and Kolache, or Kava and Kolache. And Kolache is our main pastry that we have in the Czech Republic and Slovakia as well. And so we kind of usually just have some time and fun to talk with people. So again, I'd like to ask you both to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you're studying, and what you hope to accomplish during the month. We'll start with you, Maria.
Sure. So, as Cecilia has mentioned, I go to Regis University. I am double majoring in both political science and peace and justice studies. I'm also minoring in pre-law. One thing I look forward to this opportunity is that so far in my career, I have been doing a lot of research on Latin American politics regarding to, like, for example, like democratic backsliding, corruption, or fragmentation within political parties. And so I took this opportunity because one of their exhibits called Faces of Freedom brought my attention, and I would like to understand more about Czechoslovakia and the Slovak political climate and how I can relate it back to my own studies.
Very good. And Kayla, you want to tell us a little bit about your studies?
Hello, my name is Kayla Hawkins, and I am a rising junior at Spelman College. I am a major in international studies, and through this opportunity, I hope to learn more about how museums run, also about how culture fits into different aspects. I'll be studying abroad in Latin America next semester, so to have two different experiences, one from a Latin American one and one from a more European one, will really broaden my ideas of culture, history, and how politics is formed, and I'm really excited about that.
Well, it's so great to have you. And as you know, we are a Smithsonian affiliate. And so each year we are able to have these wonderful students with us. And as I always am lucky enough to give them their opening sort of introduction, I say that we hope you'll learn more about your culture through the stories of our Czech and Slovak culture. And so that we find out that we have more in common than differences. So that's what we hope this month will bring. And we'll talk about your projects. And to my right here is Dominika. And Dominika, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're going to school, what you're studying, etc.?
Okay, so my name is Dominika Novotná. I'm from Czech Republic, and I study security and law in České Budějovice. I'm really glad that I can be here right now because it's really good to see how people in America what they are doing for our culture and things. So thank you for this opportunity.
And we're giving you lots of experience in giving tours. And tell us about, you gave a tour and somebody already wrote you a thank you note.
Oh yeah, when I had my first guide, I did a little tour in immigrant house. Yeah, and it wasn't perfect. It was like for my first time, so it wasn't perfect. I didn't know so much in that time, but it was really funny, and I tell them so many things about our culture right now. And then I get a thank you letter. So it was really sweet.
Well, we appreciate having you here. And again, I think it's important for our listening audience to realize that the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library has three pillars. Our curatorial exhibits, because people come here to visit our exhibits. Secondly, our library. We have this wonderful Czech and Slovak library. And then thirdly, for our education programs. And in all three of those pillars, education is a core component because we want people to not only learn from our exhibits, learn in our library, but also for all ages to become more cognizant of who they are through an understanding of the struggles, the successes, and the future that we have as a National Czech and Slovak Museum to educate all generations. So that way we're so excited. I know that both of you in the Smithsonian field are doing some exciting projects. So maybe, Kayla, you want to talk to us a little bit about, they have to do a research project and a project that we'll get more about for next month, but on our Coffee and Kolache. But do you want to tell us what you're doing?
Yeah, so my project is focusing on sustainability, specifically in herbal medicine. So I'll be doing a lot of research on traditional herbal medicine practices, such as like how people make their own medicine at home, how medicine, traditional medicine, and Western, more modern medicine compare and contrast, and how much more sustainable herbal medicine can be, how you can find regular things from your closet and make something that'll help you for the rest of your life. And it'll definitely be cheaper and it'll definitely be fun. So I can't wait to do more research and put this together.
And I know that our librarian, Dave Molina, has already said he has some resources on that
Yes.
because we Czechs and Slovaks did have a lot of sort of what we would call home remedies growing up. There were many things that I remember growing up, putting all of the not Vaseline, but what did you call that?
The Vicks vapor rub.
Vapor rub on the chest with a cloth and steaming. And I can even remember when I had a real bad cold, getting a little bit of Slivovitz, which is plum brandy, that cured I think cleaned out my lungs. I don't know if it did, but it certainly helped. So that'll be fascinating to hear what your project will be all about. And Maria, what are you going to be doing?
So my project is also centralized on the idea of sustainability also. As we all know, the fast fashion industry has been taking over the global sphere, and so a lot of like low income communities are tending to go to stores like Shein or Fashion Nova, which again is not very good for the environment overall. And so a lot of those low income communities are connected to like traditions or culture. So my project is going to be based on like bringing up those old traditions that we forgot, that we have tended to forgotten, and through that, we're going to bring back to like the idea of textiles, making our own clothes, even like patching our old clothes so then they're able to last longer, and again emphasizing the idea of like tradition and culture and why it's so important to having a sustainable environment.
That is so important. And we talked yesterday about our kroy, which is our cultural folkwear. A lot of people that have them from their mothers, grandmothers, they don't want them anymore. So what people are doing are collecting these older kroy and making more modern day fashion from them, or using them and repairing them so that they have a cultural folk wear as well. So I think that's really exciting. There's a group in Moravia that actually goes and collects these old kroy, and they make some really neat fashion, and they even have a store now. We'll have to get you hooked up there, so that'll be great. And Dominika, you are doing a lot of different things here at the museum, but if you had a glass ball, what would you like to be doing in 5 years?
In under 5 years.
Yeah, what would you like to be doing in 5 years?
Oh, wow. I mean, the first thing what I would really like to do is to finish my studies.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing, absolutely. Then I would like to. Very good question.
Well, maybe to help you with that, what are you studying? Because you're studying a field that most people don't know about here.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I would like to do like I would like to be a police officer on some higher level. I know you don't have this position in America, so we can call it spokesman.
A police spokesman?
Yeah, in Czech is it mluvčí. and I would like to talk in the future about cases and what happened in medias and things like that. So that would be really nice. Um, I would like to really help some people from like bad society and things with this. I want to talk about these things and yeah.
Well, so you're going to be, that's it. So we'll see a lot of you on TV and radio.
Oh, maybe in Czech TV and radio.
Sure.
We will see.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's great. So you've been here now over a week. What have you learned about the American society that's different than living in the Czech Republic?
Oh, you're so friendly and like sweet, and you talk so much with random people. I don't know. We're not like that
Uh-huh.
because when you met someone new in the USA, you're like, "Hey, how are you doing?" and things. And we're not like that. If we don't know each other in Czech Republic, we're just like, "Hey," and that's all. Nothing more. And we have, you have still something to talk about that is so surprising for me.
Well, I know that we went grocery shopping, and one of the grocery boy who was putting her groceries in the sack, which was different too because she didn't have to do it.
Oh yeah, we have to do that in Czech Republic.
And he was asking her where she's from, and he right away struck up a conversation. So.
Yeah. So, but it's really nice.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know, we're just not like that. But we talk a lot,
Yeah.
but not with like strangers, we can
Okay.
say.
So that might just be the way we live. What do you think about that, Maria? Are we an overly friendly society in the United States?
I mean, you could say that, but I mean, I grew up in Latin America, so everybody over there, you know, you pretty much grew up within like a neighborhood, and within a neighborhood, you know, you're either related to half of the people there, or you're already like family friends already. So it's very common that you say hi or good morning to people. Also because there's good manners. Yeah, so it is a bit. It's not too different, except for the fact that I feel like over here it's, I guess, less integrated, depending on like what kind of neighborhood you're from and how connected your neighborhood is. So it all depends.
I think you're right that in other countries, both in Latin America as well as Europe, the communities stay closer together. And here we kind of disperse. That's always a problem for parents and grandparents, is that their grandchildren leave and they're sort of alone sometimes. So, and what about you? How do you feel about it? You think Americans are, you grew up, or you were born in Ethiopia. And,
I was born here.
oh, you were born here, but your ancestry is Ethiopia. So do you think that people here are overly friendly in the United States?
Well, I grew up in the South, so that's what they tell you to do.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
Southern hospitality.
Yes, they tell you Southern hospitality. It's saying hi to everyone, striking up a conversation, manners.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see how the definition of manners changes from different cultures, different countries, even just different communities. Because I go to school in Atlanta, but I grew up in North Carolina. So seeing the difference between the South in a city and the South in just a community is different. Because in Atlanta, I wouldn't just strike up a conversation with someone random I see. But maybe I would do something different in North Carolina. I would maybe try to talk to someone who's bagging my groceries or something. So it's interesting to see those differences.
It is. It really is. Now, you both have only been here a couple of days. You came on Sunday. So you're going, what are your impressions so far of Cedar Rapids?
Well, so I'm pretty much spent half of my life in Denver, Colorado. As for Cedar Rapids, it is slightly different to me because a lot of stores close pretty early in comparison to like Denver. For example, on the weekdays, the latest stores will usually close would be like 10, especially if you want to grab like a cup of coffee or go get boba, or if you want to meet like a little cafe, you know. And then over here, I see that a lot of them close like the latest being 6 p.m. So that was something that I was like surprised. I was like, oh, I guess like the only things are left are like, you know, are either the bars or the, you know, the restaurants where they grill and stuff. But you know, I just want to relax. So it's not really like somewhere I will go to after like, you know, after work or after school. But I mean, there's a lot of like museums I noticed, so I would definitely like to check out those, like the Art Museum or the African American Museum that's nearby, and yeah.
We'll certainly give you that opportunity because we really are a cultural hub, and with the National Czechoslovak Museum and so close to the African American, and then of course our art museum, as I told you, Grant Woods, who famous American Gothic painter. So that's great. And one thing I was going to tell you on the weekends, you haven't been here yet. If a weekend, they do stay open longer. So on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, on Thursday, Friday, they're all, it's pretty late. But the other thing I noticed living in Florida, that a lot of small towns in Florida, and we're not small at 150,000, but they close, even the grocery stores sometimes close at 9 or 10 o'clock. And I think it's just, but I'm used to the all-nighters too, so that's good. And what about you, Kayla? What have you noticed so far being here 2 days?
I think that's also the biggest thing I've noticed. I was looking, I forgot my charger at home, so I was looking for a store, and the nearest grocery store had closed at 7. So I was very like, oh my gosh.
Oh, that's a small
store.
neighborhood, right?
Yeah,
right.
but again, we haven't been able to get out of our little neighborhood community, so I can't wait to explore more outside of our little community and see what else there is.
Absolutely.
Cedar
Well, we'll have to
Rapids.
give you a weekend travel trip
Yes.
to do that. So I know you've been around. What do you think of Cedar Rapids so far?
I really like that. I mean, how I said, you're really friendly, and this is really friendly place to stay. And I like that the Cedar Rapids is not that big as, for example, I don't know, New York. It's not that frequent, and maybe more safe than the other big cities, as for example New York or others. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to having you here for the rest of the month, and we'll touch base with everybody before they leave. And any final comments that anybody wants to share?
I'm just really excited for the opportunity.
Great.
See what this month brings.
Good.
Same here. I'm just really excited of like the projects that we're going to be working on and any other additional side projects that we will also like to add to the museum.
That's great. Because the Smithsonian is really focused on helping students prepare for leadership possibilities in the future and looking at issues of diversity, looking at issues of social justice, looking at issues of the future. So we hope that you'll have that opportunity here. Great. And Dominica, any parting words?
I'm so excited for new experiences. I hope my English gets better, and that's it.
Very good. Well, thank you all, and we'll see you all next month. And come and see us at the museum and meet these wonderful people, Kayla, Maria, and Dominica, and they will, I'm sure, be glad to talk with you. And once again, this is the National Czechoslovak Museum and Library in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. See you soon.